Welcome to Chapter 1, Introduction to JavaScript. Objectives. When you complete this chapter, you'll be able to explain the history of the World Wide Web, describe the difference between client-side and server-side scripting, understand the components of a JavaScript statement, add basic JavaScript code to your web pages, and structure your JavaScript programs. Introduction to the World Wide Web. The theoretical foundation of the World Wide Web was described in memos written by J.C.R. Licklider in August 1962. These memos led to the physical implementation of ARPANET in the 1960s. When it was created, ARPANET was restricted by the U.S. government primarily to academic researchers, scientists, and the military. In the 1980s, the widespread development of LANs, groups of computers in the same room or building that use a server to share resources, along with the availability of the personal computer, made computers common in daily life. To help manage cross-reference documents at the CERN Laboratory for Particle Physics in Geneva, Switzerland, Tim Berners-Lee created what would eventually become the World Wide Web. A common misconception is that the terms web and internet are synonymous. However, this is not strictly true. The web is only one part of the internet. There are other parts of the internet as well, like email systems. However, the World Wide Web is arguably the most significant part of the internet today, and is the basis for our class. The method that Berners-Lee created to cross-reference documents is known as hypertext linking. A hypertext link, or hyperlink, provides a reference to another web page. When you click the hypertext link, you open the other web page. A web page is simply a document on the web. Each web page has a URL, or Uniform Resource Locator, an address that uniquely identifies that specific page. Another term for URL is web address. URLs are a type of URI, or Uniform Resource Identifier, a more generic term for many types of names and addresses on the World Wide Web. A website is the location on the internet of one or more web pages and related files, like graphic and video files that belong to a company, organization, or individual. Web pages are displayed on a web browser. Web browsers are used to display web pages on computers, tablets, and phones. A person can visit a web page by entering its URL in the address bar of their web browser, or by clicking a link. Visiting a web page involves responses and requests. When a user visits a web page, the web browser sends a request to the web server, a special computer that delivers web pages. The web server then responds to the request by delivering that web page. This method is known as request and response. That is, the user requests the web page from the server, and the server responds by delivering it. Regardless of how the user navigates to the web page, the web browser asks a web server for the web page in what is referred to as a request. Understanding web browsers. Early browser wars began over DHTML, a combination of various technologies, including HTML and JavaScript, that allow the web page content to change in the browser after it's loaded. DHTML code that was compatible with Microsoft Internet Explorer was not compatible with Netscape browser, leading Microsoft and Netscape to fight for control of the browser market and their own versions of DHTML. To settle the argument, the World Wide Web Consortium, or W3C, created a neutral version of DHTML that would work in any browser. The World Wide Web Consortium is an organization that oversees the development of web technology standards. Unfortunately for Netscape, the W3C formally recommended that the version of DHTML would be the one used by Microsoft Internet Explorer, which prompted many loyal Netscape users to defect to Microsoft. A great benefit of the browser wars in terms of forcing the web industry to rapidly develop was that advanced web page standards were adopted that would be consistent across browsers. There are now a number of modern browsers available, including Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and Google Chrome.